I'm Sharice Nicole with CNikki.com. We caught up with the lovely cast of VH1's Single Ladies, and they shared with us some of their greatest insecurities and how they've learned to overcome them.
Whew.
I can answer mine while you thinking.
Go ahead.
I did. Okay.
It's an important question because people are looking at you guys like they are the epitome of beauty and everything. So,
And I love that you asked that question because people need to know that we're relatable and that we're real, and we do have insecurities as well and how we deal with them. Mine was my freckles. I never liked freckles, and when someone told me use lemons, and I used to lemon, I smelled like a lemon. It was just like, but that didn't work. And then as I got older, I felt like I was going to look like Sissy Spacek. I was going to have them all on my arms and my body. And I was like, I don't want them all over, But now I love them. I think that I've been kissed by the sun, I did not know that I have beautiful eyes. When I was younger, no one ever said, oh, my God, your eyes are beautiful. Now it's like, your eyes are amazing. I'm like, really?
oh, honey, that was jealousy growing up. That was jealousy.
I don't know. It's like what? They're lighter over the years. I don't know what happened, I don't know.
Because I actually had the opposite experience. Growing up when I was little, everyone had something to say. And when I was a little girl, I didn't really understand. And I used to sit in front of the mirror and go, look at my eyes and go, what's so different? Why do people? And now I feel like I see other women, obviously. I'm not a little girl anymore. And you open up, I look at you and we have similar, lighter eyes, colored skin. But as a little girl, I remember my mom used to be really weird about it too, like say thank you and turn around and make your cross and thank God. Because she was worried that people were kind of hexing you. They used to come up to her and ask her, did you put contacts in your little girl's eyes? And it was so weird. And I used to go home and sit in the mirror and go, what's so different? Now, as an adult, I'm like, thank goodness I got my eyes, because otherwise I just wouldn't be the same person anymore. But I remember growing up and feeling awkward, or the fact that I'm so mixed. I'm Hispanic and Greek, Puerto Rican, Dominican, and Greek. And everybody wants to know, oh, well, you're mixed. What is it, and how is it growing up mixed, and in this kind of neighborhood, and you're Puerto Rican and Dominican. How does that work amongst friends in New York City? Because supposedly there's this beef. And I go, I don't know. My family just kind of put everything together. So, we eat Greek lamb and we eat rice and beans. And that's just what it is. And I don't know anything differently. But people, I think that sometimes it's obviously we have our own physical things that bother us. I got a little bum that sometimes, when I was growing up, I didn't really realize that later on it was going to be an asset. No pun and every pun intended. But I remember I look at pictures of myself on the beach at 13 and in shorts covering up, and I go, what the hell? Why was I covering up? I should have been flaunting it. Not that I think that 13-year-olds should be all out there, but even at 16 and stuff, when you really are young and have this shape, and now, because of J-Lo and women with amazing figures and Sophia, I think that girls are growing up to really appreciate their curves, their personalities more, as we are kind of use social media and see and have accessibility to more of that stuff. And now we didn't have that when we grew up.
Well, now we get to know what a real woman looks like, because the perception that Hollywood was putting out for so long was a size 2, no nothing, and we all were looking at ourselves like, gosh, I don't look like that. Am I an alien? And now we get to see, all of you ladies, and we're like, oh, I feel like they're me and I'm them.
I remember when I started modeling and I went to agencies. Wilhelmina, which was a big agency, didn't know what to do. Yes, she's blonde, blue-eyed girls. And then they had one, and then maybe an extreme if they had 2 really, really dark, beautiful African-American girls. But for the light-skinned mixed girl, there wasn't a market. You weren't light enough. You weren't dark enough. I'm not the classic-looking Latina, so kind of figuring out. But now, because there's so much accessibility with internet and social media, you see all walks of life.
What about you?
I have so many insecurities from my craft. That's important to me, to my high forehead and my pointy fairy ears that I get very shy about. But I know. But for me, I overcome it I realized throughout the years, don't be afraid to suck. And when you're okay with sucking and not being the best in the room,
I'm listening.
And you have freedom, because like I remember an actor once said, he was a very good actor. He said, "Oh my God, I sucked in that." I was like, "Okay, let me do it again." And I think you are your very best. So if you're okay with sometimes sucking, you have freedom, because you don't always have to be perfect. And so with all my insecurities, it's like, oh, I didn't do that great in that scene. That's okay. I can suck. It's okay. And then I am my very best. That's what I am. That's what everybody is. You're your very best. So knowing that, you can fail and you can fall. And so that's how I look at it.
I love that. Nobody can be a better you than you.
Insecurities. When I was young, I always thought I had a big head. And
Still do.
I do. I still do. I always thought I had a big head, and I think that's where I got my funny bone from. Because I used to run home, and I used to go, "Mom, they talking about my head again." She'd go, "You better hike on them." And I'd be like, "Well, what I say?" You go, "You look them up and down, and you find what's funny, and you exploit it." And from that point on, I would slay anybody that talked about my dome. And that's what literally was the seed that was planted in terms of where my funny began. You know what I mean? So I thank Mom Dukes for that. Mwah, mwah.
The strongest attribute for me in thinking about that altogether is really a sense of forgiveness of myself. Is that, listen, I know I'm heavily flawed and I've got my madness, as we all do, but it's a matter of, dissecting it, looking at it, and just realizing that, you know what, I'm human at the same time. So I am affected by many different things. And I don't have a problem crying. I don't have a problem showing my emotion. I also don't have a problem for standing up for myself or speaking out against social injustice or something like that. So, all of those elements are the complex things that are just built into my DNA. And my thing is, loving myself is forgiving myself of what I may perceive as my own inadequacies, and also forgiving myself for thinking of myself as any less than what I was originally created as. My responsibility is to me before I can give anything to anyone else. And if I don't have that strength within myself, then I'm not available to anyone else.
Speaking on perfection, what is like one of the craziest or most drastic things you've done to remain beautiful, like a crazy diet or something like that?
Juice. Come on. What?
You never
juice,
done?
but that's not crazy. That's juice for like 14. That's like 14 days. Most people, right? How long was it?
Yeah, it was 14 days. Okay. But then you could do the Daniel fast, which is a spiritual fast, and that's 21 days.
Yeah. All of that stuff that we do is crazy. Like some people look at you and go, "Wait, you only had liquid for 14 days?"
Listen, this one here is saying that because all she does is eat. Yeah. Okay, so I was gonna tell you that now. In between scenes, at the top of the scene, when is lunch? What time is it? What time is it? And then this one here, she eats baby food. Yeah. She eats baby food.
Apparently, I live off of grass and air. Is what they say
in her dressing room.
Extreme diet.
And I'm a juicer. I'll green juice for 14 days until I look a little bobbleheadish, and then it's like, yeah, this is enough. Let's stop. Because I like to be a little smaller when I film, because the camera adds like 10 pounds to us and makes us look thicker.
True.
So
she's true to what she looks like in real life. If you lose like the 10 pounds, and I hang upside down. What? Yeah, because it I secretly do it. Yes.
Someone need to come over there and get that.
Yeah. It's good on so many levels. So that's the crazy thing. Just like a bat, hang upside down.
What up, y'all?
Leslie Ann Brunt.
Damian Dante Wayans.
What's up? It's Harold House Moore.
And you are checking out
See, Nikki.
CC Nikki, y'all.